The IEM Sydney Grand Finals were an absolute spectacle to behold, and a fantastic treat for the crowd down under. If you missed the action, let's get you back in the know. We started things off on Overpass, the map pick of complexity. In the pistol round, it was Robs, the ice-cold assassin, that was able to take us to absolute zero with this 4K to snatch away the pistol round, proving he was the coldest on the server. In the second round, Complexity tried to clash back, but broke the bank as they were left for dead, meaning they had no money going into the third round, and a freebie was on the cards for FAZE. Or that's how it should have gone. But the investment from Complexity came out once more, and Elige was given a hero AK. Supported by the deagle work of Halzerg, they picked up the round and set the score 2-1. And they then projected themselves all the way to a 5-2 scoreline off the back of it. Finally, FaZe's CT side came alive as Brokey banished everyone from Complexity, finding this 4K with his AWP. Off the back of the work done by the scoped showman, they were able to project themselves all the way to a 7-5 half. The second half pistol was aggressive from FaZe, as on the T side they terrorized, pushing their way up long and finding access to the site with ease. By the time we had reached the 18th round, FaZe were burning red hot, and Rops the Robber stole away this 1v1. We found ourselves tied 10 rounds a pop when again it was Rops that was able to rip away another round and give the 11th to FaZe. But this is where the score line stopped for FaZe, as Complexity were able to stop the clock with Elige finding himself in connector at the right time with the right plays, stopping FaZe from making it to 12 and keeping Complexity in the game as they were in touching distance of picking up the victory on Overpass. Then with JT, the brains of the operation, becoming the brawn for Complexity, the American side had their in-game leader posting a 1.47 rating, and he shut down the game 13-11, securing the map for Complexity. Next up it was NUKE, the second in the series, and FaZe's home turf. Into the pistol round, Elige and Grim cracked skulls, finding some clean pickups on the A bomb site to deny FaZe's opening round. NUKE was more back and forth than a metronome, as FaZe and Complexity kept the Australian fans on the edge of their seats in the arena, making them guess where this second map would go. An 8-4 half is where we left things, as FaZe showed prowess on the T side of NUKE. After taking the second half pistol, Complexity finally thought their troubles were behind them. But JT was thrust into a 1v1 clutch to guarantee the conversion round following it. And JT had 9 clutches under his belt already over the course of IEM Sydney going into this grand final, and still found room for more. The game was brought all the way to the brink at a 10-11 split, but it was Brokey that was ready for the A-site bombardment as he laid claim to 3 sickening frags with the scope that sent FaZe all the way to a 13-10 victory. And this pushed us onto the third and final map. We had arrived at Ancient. And the pistol round was calculated and calm from Complexity as they marauded their way towards the A site, with no one stepping to the plate to battle back against them. This was until Rops revealed his trap card, hiding in the corner at Donut as he decimated with his USP and sent FaZe in a position to take the pistol. FaZe then went on to take 4 rounds on the spin, until we finally saw a 1v1 between former kin, as it was Twists up against Elige in a clutch, a battle of former teammates on the battlefield, with Elige clutching away the first round for Complexity in the third map. But greener pastures were still yet to come for Complexity, as FaZe pushed the game all the way to an 8-1 split, with Complexity finally tasting success again in the 10th round. As again it was Elige that laid claim to another round for Complexity. A 9-3 scoreline is what was sat in front of Complexity come the end of the first half. Brokey then bashed back, and it seemed like everything was said and done, that FaZe were destined to take the game right here and now as they had advanced to 10 rounds. With no other option but to spend their cash, Complexity battled back, dumping their money and putting all their odds on Elige, who found a 2K, picking up both of these frags to keep Complexity in the game. At this point, the momentum was in full swing. And talking of swinging, that's what Halzerk did, picking up the 14th and final ace of IEM Sydney. Complexity, as a team, had 4 aces over the entire tournament, with JT, Floppy, Elige, and Halzerk finding room to frag. But this isn't where our story ends. As Complexity fought back, Elige secured the last frag and pushed us into overtime. The arena had erupted as Australia realised this epic saga was not done yet. They still had more to tell us and more history to write as the first CS2 final. Then the Grim Reaper himself walked among us at Sydney, as Grim took FaZe all the way to the brink of death, pushing us to a 14-13 split. Then Floppy stepped up to the plate, as he might be floppy by name, but he is solid by nature, securing the second overtime for Complexity. But the in-game leader of FaZe and Carrigan wanted to prove his worth on the server once more in this grand final, as his 2K secured a huge round, bringing FaZe to 17. As the scoreline told 18-16, it was Rain's smooth moves as he air-strafed backwards, secured the round and found history for FaZe in Sydney as they took the trophy 19-16 in the second overtime. A lower bracket run to remember for FaZe, as we saw them pick the trophy up. Twists laid claim to a second Sydney trophy in his cabinet, and they made history for the first time in CS2, bringing the Thunder down under. I was in the know, and now you are too. With this being the first of many amazing grand finals to come in CS2, I can't wait to see what the next decade of CS has in store for me and for you.